What crimes have they committed?
Trump?
Yeah, the ones in the Oval Office. What crimes have those people committed?
You want to look it up on Wikipedia? There's like a list.
Well, you made the sign, so I'm asking you.
It's true. I'm at a protest, though.
Yeah.
I don't need to know anything. I'm here for my community.
Okay, so you make a sign about people being criminals, but you don't know what you made it for?
All right, so
I make a sign supporting my community and the people in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed.
I know. You shouldn't be ashamed of your sign. I'm just asking what crimes they have committed.
I don't have to list them to you.
Might I?
You can simply look it up.
Have you done research?
It's all over the media.
Yeah, so I was just asking him, he's holding the sign, if he could just tell me what crimes people in the Oval Office have committed. You're holding it, so I thought maybe you could give it to me quickly.
I'm good.
What do you make of the fact that he was democratically elected, even won the popular vote? How does that make him a king?
It doesn't make him a king. It makes him a president, not a king.
Well, this is called No Kings. So what does that mean to you?
It means we got to get rid of him. He's not a king. It's a democratic process, and we've gone that route with him. Now he's acted like a king.
Can you give me a specific example?
Specific example? Well, there's a million of them all put together. There's no one example.
Just one or two?
It's more than one or two.
No, can you give me one or two examples?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I can, I guess. I'm just in a loss of thought here on. There's a lot of things.
Okay.
I can't really.
Okay, well, thank you.
so what brings you out today?
No King's Day.
And why specifically are you out supporting No King's Day?
I think protest is important.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
A couple minutes. And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President Trump?
I don't agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
Okay, so I would start with, well, I don't even think it's appropriate for me to have this interview.
Sorry, guys. We're back again. New software, new arrangement. All the issues we had with the video over the last couple of days, I figured I should try something new. So we're going to be jumping into the stories we have for today. Gardening and Intergalactic Wrangler, welcome. Thank you for holding down the chat. Yeah, good start. Good start. We're very organized here. Yes, we're very professional. You know, we have live streams where my youngest comes in to tell me he wants to poo. So very, very professional outfit we've got running here. Very professional. So let's see. So how was your week? Okay, let's start with some polite banter. How was your week? And if you're new here, okay, we like to talk in the chat. So we have Intergalactic Wrangler, we have gardening, and everyone else who likes to jump in. We have JM21999. He's going to be joining soon. We have Chrissy. And like, if you have some contributions to make while the show is going on, just drop them in the chat and we'll have a conversation. Now, let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, Fleas Day for $100 in. I think I'm winning. Okay, your cat. Okay, so let's jump in. Okay, I love talking with you guys in the chat. In fact, this is a watch party. Okay, yes, I know some of you come here for the news and some politics and banter over news and politics, but essentially you guys are the star of the show. So while the stories are reeling through, you guys determine the direction of the show. So feel free to jump into the chat. Now, here's a story that I ran into today. President Trump announces if he's assassinated by Iran, he has left instructions to bomb them at levels never seen before. Let's watch this.
You know what a race car driver is? 1/10 of 1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 1/10 of 1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me, you're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession. No, I'm #1 on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm #1. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it, because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. But I mention it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm #1 on. I like being #1 on TikTok better, but I'm #1 on the list for killing. You know,
so President Trump essentially is letting everyone know that the Iranians have it out for him now. A lot of people are going to lose their minds. They're going to say, okay, hey, he's saying things he shouldn't be saying. Look, President Trump has had more assassination attempts on him than any other president I can remember. Okay, so I think if he's telling you that, look, there's credible intel that the Iranians are working on something like that, you should pay attention. But pray for the president. All right. Less than half of the country. I know that people like to say half of the country didn't vote for Trump. Half of the country voted for Trump. If half of the country voted for Trump, then it would have been a stalemate. Okay. More than half of the country voted for Trump. Okay. So less than half of the country want bad things to happen to him, which I don't understand why they would. Okay. But I don't recall seeing people on the right wishing Obama would snuff it or wishing that Biden would snuff it. I don't recall that. If you saw that in your timeline, send me a link. But I never saw that going on. So it's weird seeing what's going on from the left. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, if they off Trump, that will be the start. Also, Putin may drop one. That also could be the start. Well, let's just keep praying for the world. All right, how are we doing for time? Now, did I close something? Jeez. Okay, now the next story, is weird, okay. Zoran Mamdani had an appointment to meet with Iranian officials. I saw this today and I couldn't believe my ears. Okay, New York City Socialist Mayor Zoran Mamdani's office canceled a planned meeting with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations after being slammed for meddling in foreign affairs that fall squarely under President Trump's jurisdiction. Democrats like to push and push and push. And then when you push back, they make it sound like, oh, I didn't know. Hang on. Intergalactic Wrangler says something. I prayed the left would stop abusing Biden. Just the same, I wish the best for Trump. Look, I saw how they handled Biden. I felt it was wrong. I said it several times back in 2024 on my old videos, and it just felt wrong. It felt wrong. Okay, let's watch this and you guys let me know what you think.
Well, New York City Mayor's office is under fire after Zoran Mamdani's International Affairs Commissioner reportedly made plans to meet with Iran's UN ambassador earlier this week. The timing could not have been worse. And the New York Post reporting this, the scheduled meeting would have unfolded after Iranian troops fired missiles at 2 commercial ships traversing the Strait of Hormuz. An action Monday in direct defiance of an interim peace agreement between the U.S. and Iran. Mayor Mamdani was asked about this at a news conference today. Watch.
That meeting did not take place. It will not take place. And I did not know about it until there was a press inquiry regarding it. And when it comes to the work of our commissioner and our international affairs office, it's to ensure that as we are a city of the world, that we are also there to meet with leaders from across the world. The focus is always on our city and our relationship. The commissioner recognizes that this was made an error, and we're working on a new process in terms of new meeting requests.
So is it normal for sitting mayors to actively seek out meetings with countries that have proven that they are enemies of the United States? There's a, all right, guys. So I can't highlight chats today because of the new setup. So I'm just going to read what I see on the screen. Okay. So sorry if you don't see me bringing up the chat to center stage. Okay, so Intergalactic Wrangler says, I have a short fuse today. I blame sisters and mothers. Family can do that to you. Sometimes before I come on the live stream, my kids decide that they want to act up, especially the youngest. So sometimes I come in and I'm like, okay, I have to, breathe before I hit the go live button. So I understand what you're saying. Gardening says, you are mayor, not in charge of the world. First off, hang on. Let me ask Grok. Okay, let me ask Grok because sometimes we come up with stuff in my head. I don't think a mayor should be meeting with a country that is at war with the United States. All right, so I'm gonna type. Is it customary for United States mayors to meet with representatives of countries at war with the US? Okay? Because, guys, I want to give this dude some grace. All right? Intergalactic Rala says, Mamdani sounds like stinky noodles. Okay, someone's going to say, all right, so Grok says very clearly, no, it is not customary. U.S. foreign policy and diplomacy with foreign governments, especially adversarial ones or those in active conflict with the U.S., are primarily the responsibility of the federal government. Mayors and cities increasingly engage in city diplomacy or subnational diplomacy for limited, non-sensitive purposes. I'm going to share this with you guys. Look, the Democrats will want you to believe like, oh my, it was such a mistake. We didn't know. What they're doing is they're just pushing the envelope. They're like 5-year-olds. They want to know. I just shared the link to the conversation, to the fact check that I just did on Grok, okay? Whenever you come here, what I want to do as much as I can is to do some of this research along with you. I know I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, okay? I've been very distracted with the setup not behaving the way it should. And please don't click on it now and leave the live stream, please. Okay, just stick around. So Zoran Mamdani wants us to believe that it was all a big mistake. I didn't know. He has no business doing that. Okay, he has no business doing that. Let's see. Gardening says he is not even able to handle his own city. He doesn't need to interfere with what the president has going on. This dude couldn't even keep his streets clean when they were snowed in. He literally struggled to get people to come in to shovel snow. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to go. So let's see. There's more. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's office reportedly intervened. Now, the the story that Zoran is telling is that they canceled the meeting. But what we're hearing here is that Secretary of State Marco Rubio's office reportedly intervened to shut down a planned meeting between Communist New York City Zoran Mamdani's administration and Iran's ambassador to the United Nations, according to City Journal. Intergalactic Wrangler says Mamdani locking rent is going to destroy any middle class with a house or two. Yeah, like they tried this. I think they've tried this before. And what happened was the landlords essentially allowed the houses to fall apart, because you can't tell the landlord that he can't raise rent when interest rates and everything else is changing. And then the tenants who provide the funds which they use to pay out the mortgage can't pay more when the interest rates and everything go up. It makes no economic sense. It's like you're talking to 5-year-olds who don't understand how money works. I went on a walk, my daily walk with my daughter. She insisted on coming with me, so we did that together. And she was asking me some really complex, questions. She was like, "Oh, that's a nice house." So I asked her, "Well, so what do you think? Should everyone have access to a nice house?" I was asking my 10-year-old. I said, "Should everyone have access to a nice house?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, that's not realistic." She said, "Why?" I said, "How would you feel if you woke up every day for a long time at 4 a.m, started your business at 6, closed at 6 p.m, and then your business grew and did well? Okay, you had money to buy a house. Then you had this other loafer who wakes up at 3 p.m, does work for 3 hours. His clients hate him. He doesn't make enough money, but the government gives him all this money simply because he exists, and that person can buy the same house you bought because you worked hard, but somebody else takes money from your taxes and can buy the very same house." She said, "No, that's not right." A 10-year-old can tell you that. A 10-year-old can tell you that. And that's what these clowns are trying to do in New York. Let's see. More in the chat. Guys, if you're watching, okay, jump in the chat. I want you guys to have this conversation with us. I'm so sorry. A lot of stuff was coming in. Intergalactic Wrangler says that affects both landlords and renters negatively. Intergalactic Wrangler says, "I know housing and I'm an idiot. Just can make bread with shoelaces if I have to. I don't want a big house, just enough." Gardening follows up and says, "I want a little house with land and I want a garden." Intergalactic Wrangler says, "I want a big house with big fleas." Okay, you're having a moment with fleas. So, again, Mamdani is lying about what's going on, but of course, these guys are just like teenagers. All right, they're just like teenagers. Let's jump to the next story. Let's see. God, chat. Okay, chat first. Okay, so if you're watching and you're like, "This guy is confused," no, chat first. Okay, I want to make this show chat first. So if I see a chat, I respond to the chat. Okay. Gardening says, with the Mamdani situation, what do you think they're up to? Mamdani is pandering to his voter base. So the Islamists who voted him in, the ones who have been running around the streets of New York, spreading out mats and praying in the center of what was the name of that popular street? Sheesh. Okay. Like they've been doing stuff like that. They run around trying to intimidate Jewish communities. They run around screaming about how this is now their city. Those are the people that he's pandering to. All right. Yeah, I have coffee. All right. I haven't had coffee in months. And I said to myself, I feel like I've been pushing myself very hard and I don't want to go get into the show and start losing steam. So I made myself some light coffee. I don't drink heavy coffee, just light coffee. So grab a drink and let's hang out. So, yeah, so I don't think, sorry, can you imagine? I'm just, lots of chats are coming in. Yeah, so that's what they're up to. Intergalactic Wrangler says, and I have no one to scratch my back with the fleas. Gardening says, sorry, I just don't understand why they were trying to meet. Okay, so I think I've pointed out my theory. This is a theory, but you and I have 2 brain cells to rub together at least, and we have eyes. He's pandering to his voter base. This is the kind of regime he supports. He supported Hamas after they attacked Israel, assaulted women, microwaved babies. Okay, there goes my video. Okay, I found out that I think my live streams are being suppressed because I say these graphic things. So to hell with it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So like they did all those things. And then he's backing these guys. So why wouldn't he invite the representative of Iran to come and appear that he's showing solidarity? The Muslims of New York are supporting them. Did you see that video of that influencer who joined these guys? So sorry, I have to digress. All right. There's this influencer. I bookmarked it. There's an influencer who was in Tehran. I hope, let me see. Oh, Tehran. There was an influencer in Tehran. There he is, naughty boy. So this guy, right. I'm going to just read this. So Congressman Randy Fine, Republican of Florida, demands American traitor influencer Jackson Hinkle be arrested on the spot if he re-enters the country after leading a "Down with USA" chant in Iran, Tehran. Look at this. See, look.
Down with USA.
This is an American citizen.
Down
all right?
with USA. Down with USA.
Yeah, so that's evidence. So you have people like this paying out of pocket or being sponsored by whoever to go to Tehran to show solidarity, to tell the world, oh, the United States isn't so united. There are a bunch of us in there that hate the United States and we can help you bring it down from the inside. This guy that the United States made rich. He's an influencer. He was made rich. And he takes that privilege, that wealth, and decides he's going to use it to destroy the United States. It's like Jane Fonda and all the other communists who were made rich by your patronage of their movies and their music. You spent years buying their music. You spent years buying tickets to watch their movies. They got wealthy and they turned around and they want to burn the country down. All right. I hate that. Let's see. Lots of chat about drinks. Okay, you are free to move on to the next story. I'm free to move on. I'm so, like, guys, I'm so bad. I'm so bad at just letting go of these things because it's just upsetting. Okay, next story. Muslims are launching a full Sharia law community in Little Rock, Arkansas, requiring buyers to sign an Islamic bill of assurance, guys. Right under your noses, guys. Let's listen to this.
I'm Christina Awayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Outrage is erupting in Little Rock, Arkansas, over a city-approved Islamic residential project that requires buyers to sign a private Islamic bill of assurance where the community would be ruled by Sharia law. It will have 2 mosques, an Islamic school, clinic, and related facilities under ongoing control by the Linked Mosque organization. The project sits in the John Barrow neighborhood area of Little Rock on a 6-acre site. City planning records show the Little Rock Planning Commission approved the New Africa development by the Islamic Center for Human Excellence, or ICHE.
All right, so I'm going to do something here because someone's going to say, that isn't Fox News, not CNN, not TDSBC, none of them. So I'm going to just do a quick fact check. The community notes aren't screaming. There's no community notes. Hello. See our reports were actually where the actual information came from. So I'm going to just do a quick Grok fact check. Guys, you have Mamdani wanting to have a snoggy hobnob with an Iranian representative. You have an influencer flying over there to lead chants that essentially come burn my country. Okay, come over, guys. Come and destroy my country. I hate my country so much that I'll fly over here and I'll wave your flag and tell you, keep doing what you're doing. And then you have within the United States, okay, officials within the United States selling large tracts of land to an Islamist community. Okay. This post planning records show the 6-acre site in the John Barrow neighborhood received a unanimous 10-0 approval. It was unanimous from the Little Rock Planning Commission in December 2020 for up to 22 homes, 2 mosques, an Islamic school, clinic, and gardens. Only 5 homes have been built to date. Okay, now, so it's confirmed that this is true. This is the video that essentially is the source of the story. Okay, let's play this.
Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters in Al-Islam. My name is Tahid Salam, and I am one of the coordinators, facilitators for the development of a new masjid here in Little Rock, Arkansas.
All right, so do you guys want me to keep playing it?
We are going to have a few pictures that you can look at. We, the Muslim community here in Little Rock, Arkansas, has been and have been working on a small Muslim believing community called New Africa in the western part of our city.
Africa is so great.
We have 5 houses that we have already built in that community thus far, and we are real excited about putting and building our anchor institution, the new masjid.
All right, so confirmed. All right. Let's read the chat. Intergalactic Wrangler says, oh no microwaving. Oh my. He said, Intergalactic Wrangler says, that made me angry. He does not sound enthusiastic. Jane Fonda, Intergalactic Wrangler says, if my phone dies, I'll be back. I want to visit some countries, but I don't think I'll get the chance. Well, I hope you get the chance to visit other countries, and I hope that trip makes you appreciate your country even more. All right, I've been to 2 countries. Period. I've been to the UAE, Dubai, and I've been to Canada. Okay, and I was impressed by both countries. All right. Now, Dubai is more of is a plastic country. It's artificial. Everything is artificial. But they've been able to organize enough that people want to fly over there and, spend the summer. Okay. So I was impressed. And then here, and I'm like, Africa hasn't done a good job. And those that who want to move to Africa can be my guest. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Let's see. Now, the Democratic Socialists are in the news again. Just when we thought the Democratic Socialists of America couldn't get any worse, they released new policy platforms that are wild. They want to eliminate the Senate. They want amnesty for all immigrants. They want to get rid of the president and the Supreme Court. And they want to defund the Department of War. Let's watch this, and you guys let me know what you think.
Again, to underscore how these people are just living in a petri dish of amateur hour, here's what they want. Here's what they are running for, and now they have won. So this is who is representing people of America on the Hill. They want to eliminate the U.S. Senate. They want to replace the president and the U.S. Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by a subordinate to Congress. They want amnesty for all immigrants, and they want to defund the Department of War.
This is according to a source inside the DSA.
Again, to underscore.
So no one is surprised that this is what the DSA wants. No, I mean, are you surprised? Gardening says, connecting to the story that we just watched on the construction of a Muslim community, Islamic community in Arkansas, it's surprising Arkansas is allowing that. I'm not surprised. I've said it several times during these live streams that conservatives have a bad habit of letting down their guard and not paying attention to local elections and local appointments. Everyone's eyes are on the presidential elections. You ignore the Senate, both local and federal, and every other position, including the school board. That's the problem with conservatives. And it is a byproduct. It's a byproduct of the habits that we have. All right. We are hard workers. We have jobs. We pay attention to, we have family, we have kids. We don't have the time to run around paying attention to pet projects like protests and so on. We're done with work. We come straight home. We have a wife and kids that we're dealing with. Most of us go to church and have responsibilities at church. And then, of course, at church, we're told that there's a separation of church and state. So we're not supposed to talk about politics in church. So that separation is dangerous, and it has bred this insanity that we see. So you can be in a red state and city, and people who vote blue sneak into these positions. So that's why that happened in Arkansas. So the DSA, there's no need for the apology, Gardening. There's no need. The DSA essentially wants to eliminate the Senate. They want to tear down everything that makes the United States work. They want to reshape it into a caliphate. That's what it is. Let's stop mincing words, okay? These people are destructive. They want to burn down every single thing that they touch. Let's see. Okay, now this is a comment. Hold on. This is a comment. A lot of I want to confirm this expose is a reply supporting criticism of Democrat Socialists. The attached image details how Thompson was killed and a body thrown. Caption, keep fighting. So this appears to be a true story. So an illegal alien assaults and murders a black girl, American citizen. Now, my question is, how come all of the social justice warriors and all of the race grifters aren't talking about her? I'm sorry that I digress, but I scrolled down to see if there was something more. But this is the reason why I just don't trust these clowns. I don't. It's sad. Yes, we know about Nongore, we know about all the other victims, and they're either white or of Hispanic descent. But the black people just don't seem to care about people within the black community who are murdered because of unchecked illegal immigration. All right. Let's move on. There's a lot to talk about today. So Graham Plattner is in the news. And yesterday, yes, he suspended his campaign, but he has just formally withdrawn from the main U.S. Senate race, filing the paperwork and allowing the Democrats to select a new trash candidate. Let's listen to this.
Alert, Graham Plattner is officially out. Writing in a letter to the Maine Secretary of State's office, my name may have been on the ballot, but that ballot line belongs to the people of Maine. As such, please consider this notice as my official withdrawal from consideration for this office. F-ICE, Free Palestine, up the hearts.
On his way out.
With solidarity forever. This after indicating he would wait until Monday to drop out. What a sign-off. Tells you everything that you need to know about Graham Plattner, the DSA, and the moment we live in now in America.
So on his way out, he decides that he wants to sign off with F-ICE and Free Palestine. These people hate America. But, good riddance. I'm not showing that. X has been full of AI images. AI images all over the place. And you have to be careful. Sometimes if you show these AI images on YouTube, your channel just gets a hit for no reason. All right, so remember those eight people who carried out an attempt on the White House during the UFC 250 event? Well, the DOJ has charged 8 of them in connection with the plot to carry out the mass casualty attack. Let's listen to this report.
Through this investigation, we learned the group allegedly planned to carry out a mass casualty attack involving the use of drones, armed with explosives and firearms meant to shoot people fleeing in the crowds. Our command posts also included membership of the Secret Service and other partners to share information in real time and to help ensure no violence occurred at the White House UFC event or any other high-profile events. Through this investigation, we learned...
All right, so they've been charged, and we're going to have a trial. Gardening says that could have been so bad. So glad it was stopped. The hateful 8 intergalactic wrangler says, America is well, I don't want to say America is filling up, but incidents like this have increased massively, and it's largely because of the hateful sentiment that has become mainstream through mainstream media, through the schools and colleges. It is now normal. It's now normal for people to actively hate your country, fly to other countries, and wave a foreign flag while chanting, death to your own country. Like this clown over here. It's sad. It's sad, but that's where we are right now, and it's gone mainstream. It's gone mainstream. This person here says it's terrifying. It is, but I hope people wake up. I hope people just wake up. The idea behind all of these reports is not to just terrify people into silence and complacency. It's meant to wake you up to know that these are the people who vote. People voted Mamdani in, and he's trying to hobnob with an enemy country. Okay? That guy over there was made rich by people watching his content. He's an influencer. He was made rich by that economy within the United States. He actively hates the United States and wants Iran to win. So, guys, everyone just needs to wake up. Now, this is news that I did not know. And I found out that these pilots who did the flyby on the beach, because we watched it, that was on Sunday. We watched this on Sunday, and it was like, wow, this is awesome. It turned out that shortly after this, they were suspended. These were National Guard's pilots, And they did this, and somebody thought that it's bad, and they were suspended. So let's see if we can see the, let's see. Why were they suspended? Okay, so all 8 National Guards pilots who were suspended for flying Apache helicopters over South Carolina's coast in celebration of America's 250th birthday have had their suspensions lifted effective immediately, as confirmed by Assistant to Secretary of War Sean Parnell. Now, Pete Hegseth heard about this, and he wrote a post on X this morning saying, "We'll fix this. Carry on, Patriots." And then a few hours later, suspension lifted. Now, why were they suspended? And I'm curious to know why they were suspended. Okay, let's see. So what was the reason? Because I'm sure that it would be very nicely worded, oh, they were endangering civilians or something weird. Why were they suspended? Let's see if that prompt is reasonable and get some answers out of Grok. They were suspended for conducting a low-level flyover with Apache helicopters along the coast during celebration. Okay, what else? The disciplinary action appears to have stemmed from the flight being viewed as unauthorized or violating internal policies, despite it being part of a planned salute from the shores event integrated with training missions. So it was already planned. Public backlash and higher level intervention, including from Pete Hegseth's team, led to the suspensions being lifted immediately, with officials framing the original punishment as overreach against a patriotic display. Well, personally, they didn't pass the smell test, and it just doesn't pass the smell test at all. Gardening says, "I knew Hegseth would fix it." It doesn't. I'm not confused. I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated that we have so many people who hate the United States, and they'll claim that their hate is towards the sitting president or towards his administration, but they hate the United States. Because whether people like it or not, there's okay, I'm going down Bible lane. Okay, there's a scripture in the book of Romans that says that all authority is given by God. The authority we like and the authority we don't like is given by God. And whenever you guys come together and vote someone in, and more than 50% of the country, like I said earlier, people like to say half of the country. That's not true. That's not true. More than half of the country voted for President Trump. More than half. More than half. He won the popular vote, which I think is counting heads. And then he won the electoral vote, which is the way the Constitution has framed things so that smaller states don't get bullied by larger states. So it's not half of the country. More than half of the country voted for him. And you still have people doing stuff like this. It's frustrating. Intergalactic Wrangler says, smell test or my finger. I'm not sure what's worse. First and only time I ever voted Trump. Well, thank you for your service, Intergalactic Wrangler. Thank you for voting for President Trump. I couldn't do it. The rest of us all over the world couldn't do it. But everyone who voted for President Trump, you guys have our respect and our undying gratitude. Now, I saw this news report. The U.S. State Department has announced an international summit to focus on dismantling far-left political terrorism. Next week, Secretary Marco Rubio will host 60 countries to crack down on far-left political violence that falls under the Antifa umbrella. Let's listen to this.
Tonight. Good evening, Jillian.
Good evening to you, John. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is focusing in now on U.S. counterterrorism efforts here at home and around the globe. Right now, the State Department is focusing on what it is calling far-left political terrorism. This carried out by groups that fall under that Antifa umbrella. Rubio is convening next week here a group of senior ministers from more than 60 countries. He has invited them to Washington, hoping to crack down on far-left terrorism, which the department now tells us has surged in the U.S. and Europe since as far back as 2016.
Far-left political terrorism has been a threat that existed for a very long time, but it has gone unaddressed. And we're making sure that we solve that problem. The terrorist actions that those groups are taking, including kidnappings, including the targeting of critical infrastructure. That's what we're focusing on.
President Trump designated Antifa a domestic terrorist organization in a 2025 executive order. Then last December, Secretary Rubio slapped foreign terror labels on 4 European groups aligned with Antifa, and he said to expect more.
So that's happening. And guys, many of us saw what Antifa was doing. Denaturalize America haters. I agree. Totally. I just saw this. I totally agree. Look, anyone who has the privilege of being an American citizen but actively cooperates with people who hate America, well, American citizens can't be thrown out of their own country. But anyone who decides that they're going to join these spoiled brats to trash the house and they were invited in, I think their citizenship should be revoked and they should be kicked out. Totally. Totally. Because here's the truth, okay? And here's how I see it. If you took the Pledge of Allegiance when you were receiving the oath, being sworn into citizenship of the United States, you made a promise. And that promise was to be loyal to the country. People born into the country didn't take that oath. You did. And if you took that oath and you decided that you were going to violate that oath, it means that you violated it and your citizenship is forfeit. It's really as simple as that. I don't see how that is complicated. Someone might say, oh, that is violating their freedom of speech. No. The provisions for you becoming a citizen because you were naturalized, totally different from someone who's born into the country as a citizen. Totally different. And it means that if you are raising kids, you're going to raise kids just like you, who hate the country. It's summer, okay? It's summer, and most people have issues with ants, termites, especially during the summer. If you find a potential ant nest and you say to yourself, oh, it's just a small ant nest, there's nothing to do, let's just leave it alone, it's not going to grow. 2 summers later or 5 summers later, you have an infestation in your house. Okay, so you need to deal with these things thoroughly as soon as they raise their heads. What do we have here? So you remember the guy that please, I wish I could click on this and put it up on the screen. Oh my goodness, you guys are hilarious. Now, remember the Olympic canoeist who ripped up the reflecting pool, okay? So he pleads not guilty, but faces 10 years over violent pool liner incident. Let's watch the report.
Allegedly vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, has pleaded not guilty to the felony charge. His lawyer blasting the Trump administration for pursuing the case.
This indictment reflects the administration's effort to scapegoat Davey.
It's lawyers that make people hate lawyers.
And to shift blame for their own failures.
Like he has I don't know. Maybe it's just me having a streak, but I think he has a punchable face.
But U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says park employees saw Hearn, quote, forcefully and violently pulling the pool liner with both hands. If convicted, Hearn faces up to 10 years behind bars.
Pool employees are federal employees. Okay, they're essentially federal agents, and I would believe them. I don't think they have any reason to lie.
And happening today across the pond, Prince Harry is rolling solo at the Invictus Games.
I don't care. But let's move on. Let's move on. Oh, jeez, guys. What's this report? Yeah, so this is one of those those ground level stories that we should listen to. Washington State Superintendent of Public Schools says we have a civil rights framework in our state. It includes, let's listen. I don't want to say it, okay? I'm already in the doghouse, so let me just play this.
We have a civil rights framework in this state. It includes trans youth. This is a biological question. It is quite simply inaccurate to say biologically that there are only boys and there are only girls.
Now, between the lawyer that we watched earlier and this guy, who has a more punchable face? I'm joking. Okay, I'm serious about the face, but not punching. So, what do you say about people like this who are responsible for educating kids and they say stupid, insane, retarded nonsense like this? Okay, what my 3-year-old son knows the difference between boys and girls. So I would say that he has the IQ.
Simply inaccurate to say biologically that there are only boys and there are only girls. There's a continuum. There is a science to this. There are children who are born intersex. There are children whose chromosomes and their hormones aren't consistent with their sex at birth. That's not a debate we're going to have today.
Sorry, their chromosomes and their hormones. This guy is a fat liar. He's a fat liar. Gardening says, I say check his laptop. Gardening, you're not far off. You are not far off. Why is it that people like this tend to have those issues? All right. Look at Graham Plattner. He was the golden boy of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the champion of this stupid ideology. And look at all of what was it that brought him down? His insane fetish. Same for Eric Swalwell. And you know what? If you dig deep enough among all of the Democrats, they all have it. All of them do. You don't push for such insane things if you're not sipping from that cesspool. Yeah, they are sick people gardening. They are very sick. We have just a few seconds. So guys, just take your medicine. All right. These are the kids who are raising other people's kids, not mine. I'm raising mine.
I want to remind you of our civil rights obligation.
Really? How about my civil rights? How about my kids' civil rights to not be exposed to this insanity? They talk about civil rights of less than 1% of the population. Less than 1% of the excuse me. Grok. What is the percentage of the U.S. population that identify as transgender? I say 1%, I might be wrong. Maybe it has gone up since I took a nap. Approximately 0.8%. I'm sharing this link with you guys. I'm sharing it. This is stupid. Like, this is insane. It's insanity on steroids. Approximately 0.8% of US adults identify as transgender. According to the latest estimates from the Williams Institute at UCLA, using 2021 to 2023 CDC behavioral risk factor surveillance system data, try saying that 5 times. Adults 18 and above, 0.8%, that's about 2.1 million people. Ages 13 and above, roughly 1%, about 2.8 million people. That is when you factor in from the ages of 13 and older. Youth, 13 to 17, factoring that age bracket, I guess, among that age bracket, I would say 3.3%, because the schools run by people, if you will call this a person, like this, are indoctrinating kids. So kids see kids whose parents aren't doing a good job. I know that there are parents out there that will say, oh my goodness, you are categorizing me as a bad parent. I feel bad. Well, yes, you should feel bad. Okay. If my son fails an exam because I didn't help him out as a parent to work through learning how to go, to prepare for the exam, I should feel bad. Okay. If you didn't prepare your kids to fight off weirdos like this guy on the screen, and they wind up getting converted into weirdos, you should feel bad. So I'm not going to apologize for what I said, but come on. Okay, we're grown up. Gardning says, it isn't about the children and their well-being. It's about the people's own fetishes, because they're trying to groom these kids. They're grooming these kids. That's what's going on. Less than 1%. And you want the rest of the world to cater to the fetishes and the sickness of... It's a sickness. Okay, my YouTube channel, I guess, is done for, because I'm not going to stop doing stuff like this or saying stuff like this. It's a sickness. Okay, it's a sickness. You need to address it as such. If you say to someone, okay, this is something that's not normal, okay, you need help with it, and then someone writes a law that criminalizes telling them that it's a sickness and they need help, and that person goes on to begin to abuse kids and possibly do harm to other people, because the people who have this problem historically are violent. So you criminalize anyone who tells them that they need help and can provide them with help in a loving environment. Oh my goodness. You guys pray for my channel, because I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to say what I need to say. I'm just going to say it. All right. I don't think I want to read this one. I don't think I want to. Okay. I'm going to read it or listen to it. Stephen A. Smith admits he can't wrap his head around how the hell the Clintons and Obamas left office worth upwards of $100 million after serving the American people. Let's listen to this.
I'll confess something to y'all. Clinton was a lawyer in Arkansas. Grew up poor, relatively broke. How the hell him and the Clinton Foundation is worth hundreds of millions of dollars beats me. Barack Obama was a community organizer who became the president of the United States, and last time I checked, that salary ain't over $450,000, if I remember correctly. I got to double check that. How the hell you depart from office? You worth over $200 million now? It's amazing to me how these politicians go into office and you're sworn to serve. the American people. It's called service, but somehow, some way, they always depart exponentially richer than when they arrived.
All right. I would like to hear what he has to say about Trump. They don't know what to do about Trump because Trump doesn't take a salary. And he was already rich before he became president. But they're going to point at everything under the sun to try and make it look like he is engaging in corruption. And I'm like, that's a conversation for another day, guys. That's a conversation for another day. All right. Let's find the insurrection. I said we're going to do this every day. All right. Let's find the insurrection. So let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says the weather is raining, PC crashed, phone is next. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. Okay, it's gonna be a short one. Okay, it's gonna be a short one. So let's find something simple here. I saw a video earlier. Was it this one? No, it wasn't that one. Okay, so let's find one of these, okay? Let's pick one of these. Let's make it a so we watched this one. This is the one we watched yesterday. And then that finished up in a bit of a scuffle, but nothing serious. No one was hurt. Let's see. This is 10 minutes, so let's just do this one. All right, so we're gonna watch this one, and then we will skip forward as usual. We'll look for the parts where there's something that looks like a confrontation, and then we will start from there. So let's start there. There's a bunch of people here, so we'll start from here.
I'm good now. That shit was killing me at first.
Hang on. Thank you, Gardening. Happy American Pride Month. I keep forgetting that. And why is my voice sounding like that? And do you know why I keep forgetting? I have something to confess. Every time I'm preparing to go live, the closer it gets to the time to go live, somehow there's a bit of an anxiety going on inside of my head. Like, I hope I picked the right stories. I hope it turns out okay. I hope I don't say something stupid and get the channel demonetized. I hope I, and it puts a lot of pressure on me, and I have to get a handle on that. It's not like I'm going crazy worrying about the live stream, but I really want the live stream to work well, okay, and have you guys, enjoy it, and I want to respect your time. So that's basically what's going on in my head. So that's just wanted to say that, because that's a big thing for me. It's a big thing for me to make sure that if you trust me with your time, then I have to make sure that it's worth your while. So I keep forgetting to say Happy American Pride Month. So Happy American Pride Month yet again. Okay. Intergalactic Wrangler says he has 2% of power left, so we're going to skip real quick. These are police officers. Let's see. Okay, this is on the outside.
How we doing? I'm right here.
Oh, he's violently standing beside the door. All right, that guy is violently standing beside the door. Did the police officer just spray his own guys? Yeah, he's violently fanning himself.
Fuck you! Oath breakers! Oath
Just shut the. No. So they are okay. So from what I can see, and tell me if I'm just, I'm just blindly being blindly partisan and supportive of the people who support Trump. The police is using bear spray on people who aren't being violent. They are spraying whatever that is at them. And they haven't attacked or anything. Usually, I think from what I've seen from the ICE protests, it's only when people essentially get in their faces that is used. This guy is about 6 feet away. Let's keep going. They're spraying even people who. What's going on?
This is our country! Our fucking freedom! This is our country! This is our country!
Okay, so the guys are holding the door open.
You're still Nazis! You fucking bitches!
Hitting law enforcement with flags is a no-no. It's a no-no. So he lost his camera. All right, so let's skip forward a little. Still looking for his camera. Now, so far, there's. What time is it? It's 4:18 in the evening. Now they're zip tying, the doors closed. I don't know how that would secure the place. All right, so that's the end of this. So let me read the chat. Okay, it's sick knowing they had this planned and did this. Any who did that should not have been pardoned. Would love to know who they were. Look, like I said yesterday, attacking law enforcement is a no-no. Anyone who did that, should have been arrested. And you know what? Most of them were arrested and they already were put in jail. Some of them were in jail for 3 years or 2 years at least, and they were pardoned and let go. Now, at the risk of being accused of playing the whataboutism game, what about Antifa, who have regularly gone physical with law enforcement? How many of them spent even a year in jail prior to these sentences that we just had a few days back? All right. So it's 10 minutes past the hour, and it's a Friday night. So we've gone through a bunch of stories. We've looked at this. I think this is a talking point, and like we all agree, and anyone on the Republican side agrees, that anyone who attacks law enforcement, who puts their hand on law enforcement, who strikes a law enforcement officer, deserves to be put in jail. We all agree. It's unanimous. So the question is, who were those people? And that's the answer we don't have. Who were those people doing that? If they were identified and they were arrested and they were put in jail, then justice has been served. Okay, they don't represent the movement. They don't represent our convictions. So I think it's really as simple as that. If they were not caught, then that's a problem. If they were caught and they were put in jail and they served their sentence, then there's nothing to talk about. If people in Antifa did all the things they did during the Summer of Love and on, and it is suspected that there were a bunch of them in this crowd, I don't think there's anything to talk about. Gardening says, we know if they were not caught, and why weren't they caught? Two theories. First theory is they were plants by the FBI or by the powers that be. The second idea is they were rogue members of the crowd, whether they were Antifa or they were simply people who were just extreme far-right Republicans who believe that it's high time that things got physical. Let's not be coy about this. We know that there are a bunch of them out there. So they should have been caught and sent to jail. All right, let's see. All right, let's wrap up. I don't want Intergalactic Wrangler to just drop off because his phone is about to go off. So let's see. Okay. Gardening says, I know Antifa was there. I was watching about 8 YouTubers there. One of them caught a bus of Antifa arriving down the street. Yeah, I watched them live. Okay, so it's Wrangler. Thank you for hanging out. Sorry about the power situation with the storm over there. Thank you for hanging out, Wrangler. I'm gonna just give you a shout out in case by the time I'm doing the rounds, you're not on. Thank you so much. It's always fun to have you on, and take care of the fleas. Okay, take care of the fleas. Shout out to the fleas. Yeah, shout out to the fleas. The fleas made an appearance tonight in the chat. So, this is a serious conversation to have, and we can't do what the left does, pretend that there isn't a problem. Okay, let's not pull a Swalwell and a Plattner. If there's a problem, we call it out. If there are people on our side who are weirdos and crazy, we call them out and get rid of them. Vote them out, primary them, get rid of them. We don't support them until the whole thing implodes and they were like, oh my, what happened? Ooh, are you serious? Oh, really? He's that bad? Meanwhile, everyone had been screaming that he was, with evidence, not lies like they've been doing with Trump. evidence. Show it to us in black and white. The Totenkopf was in black and white. His history with women in black and white. Yesterday, we played the video where President Trump said the only reason why they took this last accusation seriously was the woman was not a Republican. So what the left has effectively said out loud is, as long as your politics align with us, okay, we'll take you seriously. If your politics don't align with us, we'll treat you like this girl who got murdered by this illegal alien. We'll pretend you don't exist. You know, and that's the crazy thing that you and I are looking at. And it's good we get to call it out and say, okay, we see it, we're calling it out. And do you know what? Give yourselves a hand, okay? Give yourselves a hand. Okay, right now you guys are batting 1,000. Okay, you guys called out Eric Swalwell. I almost called him Henry. Eric Swalwell. You called him out for who he was and what he was. Every one of us could see that there was something wrong with this guy. And we called it out. And you know what? It panned out. He is a dangerous predator. We called it out. We called it. We've called it with Graham Plattner. We said, this guy is wrong. Something doesn't smell right with this guy. And we were right. And I guarantee you that most of the other politicians on the Democrat side and even a couple on the Republican side that we've been looking at funny saying these people don't smell right, you're right as well. I believe you're right. So congratulations. So, and again, you were right about January 6th. We're still yet to find the insurrection. All right. What we've seen is police agitating the crowd. We've seen Antifa, of course, in old footage, Antifa arriving and mixing with the crowd. We've seen FBI informants trying to agitate the crowd to take down the barriers. We've seen all this. We saw Capitol Police tear gassing the crowd when the crowd wasn't a risk or a threat. So, okay, so Philip says you're not being fair. Philip, is it the same Philip that joined the live stream the last time? Okay, so Philip says you are not being fair. The same evidence Plattner's accuser was the exact same as E. Jean Carroll. No, Philip, don't go there, Philip. Philip, President Trump, E. Jean Carroll wasn't President Trump's girlfriend. All right? Every single one of those women had a relationship with Plattner, or at least a couple of them. Hold on. I don't want to be that guy, so hold on. And Philip, I hope you're hanging around because we're having a conversation. Philip jumps into the chat, okay, like a champ, and he's pushing back, and I appreciate that you're pushing back. I want to fact check myself. I want to fact check myself. No, hold on, Philip. Just hold on. I'm not in a hurry. Hold on. I'm trying to duplicate this tab. Okay. Okay. Grok. How many of the women who accused Graham Plattner of sexual impropriety, I'm just being nice, where let's say dated him? I just want to get the story straight, okay? So just hang on. I don't like flinging accusations out there with no proof. Hold on. At least 2 of them were in a relationship with him. Jenny Rassicott and Lindsay Fifield. Okay. And there were how many women? Were they 4 or 5? How many in all accused him? So let's get to E.J. Carroll, just in all accused him. I want to break down the E.J. Carroll situation, all right? Primarily, 2 women have made direct public accusations of sexual impropriety against Graham Plattner, with broader reports involving more ex-partners describing problematic behavior. All right, so in summary, while approximately 6+ women shared stories concerning relationship dynamics, the core public accusations of sexual impropriety involve the 2 named above. No larger confirmed total of accusers has been specified in available reporting. Fine. So let's talk about this. Okay. Graham Plattner has people who within. Okay, sorry. What was the time period? The time period within which these incidents were purported to take place, to have taken place. Now, Phil, I'm showing you how I do my research, okay? And if we want to be fair, if we want to be fair, I think it's POR, purported. I think that's how it's spelled. If we want to be fair, we have to look at the facts of each case. All right? You can't say this is 1 for 1. All right? You can't say this is 1 for 1. The alleged incidents occurred over roughly a decade, primarily in 2 main periods. Fifield was 2013 to 2015. Rassicott was 2019 to 2021, within a decade. Are these accusations a 1 for 1? A 1 for 1 match, let's call it that, with the Trump E. Carroll accusations. Let's see if I get egg on my face from Grok, since I'm getting all my fact checking from Grok. Grok says no, the accusations against Graham Plattner are not a 1 for 1 match with those in the E. Jean Carroll versus Donald Trump case. There are some broad thematic similarities common to many sexual assault allegations. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So it's not a 1 for 1 to start with, okay? Graham Plattner was in relationships with these people, and these accusations happened within a 10-year period. The Trump situation is mid-90s. Mid-90s. She accused him of cornering her in a store that was a highly trafficked store opposite his building. He's a very popular face, as at that time everyone knew who he was. That she said it happened in a changing room in a well-trafficked high-end store. She claimed she was wearing a dress that didn't come into fashion until a year after the period of the incident, according to her claim. There were many inconsistencies. So I'm not defending Trump. I'm just saying, let's look at the thing. you claim it's a 1-for-1, it's not a 1-for-1. 2, we're looking at the facts and we're like, okay, there were relationships between Plattner and these women. E. Jean Carroll didn't have a relationship with Trump. Now, let me read the rest of your chat because I want to be fair to you, okay? Except Carroll also had DNA evidence. Did Carroll have DNA evidence? Let's see. I don't remember hearing that part of the story. The response, no, E. Jean Carroll did not have conclusive DNA evidence linking Trump to the alleged assault. So that didn't happen. She also won a civil court case and you guys still support Trump. Now, Philip, I pray that you never find yourself in a situation where you're facing a kangaroo court, where in spite of the fact that you're innocent, you're surrounded by people who hate you enough that they are willing to lie and jeopardize your life. I grew up in Africa. I've seen that happen. So I don't think simply saying, oh, he was charged and he was convicted by a judge and a court that was already hostile towards him. You've watched what's going on during his presidency. The president of the United States is meant to be the most powerful man in the world, but federal judges who are Obama appointed or Biden appointed consistently create these cases and rulings against a sitting president to keep him from carrying out his mandate. If that doesn't pass the smell test for you, if that passes the smell test for you, I can't help you, because if the same thing happened with Biden, where every single time he's trying to do something, a federal judge keeps blocking him every step of the way, you would complain if you were a Biden supporter. All right. So let's just move on. Also, you still have Jim Jordan, Corey Mills, and Chuck Edwards all have credible sexual assault abuses against them, and they are still there. I have said, and I think but confirm, did you hear me say that that some of us have seen these weirdos even in the Republican Party? I mentioned it. I mentioned it. And I said, once we find them, they have to be kicked out. They have to be voted out. I said it. So this is not a partisan thing. All right. I hope you heard me when I said it. We kick out those that do this in our party. Yeah. So the question is, the ones who do it in the Republican Party, why are they still there? That's a valid question that you're asking, Philip. Trump has close to 40 women, and 4 of them he dated and 1 he married. To Ivana accused him of raping her. Ivana? Sorry, which Ivana? His first wife? Did Ivana... So guys, I'm just showing you how I do these things. I don't blindly support people. Did Ivana Trump... Oops. Did Ivana Trump accuse Donald Trump of raping her? Let's see. Like, you're throwing out stuff, and I don't want to. I don't want to accuse you. Ivana did accuse Trump of raping her in the 1990 divorce deposition, but she later walked it back. So when someone is going through a divorce proceeding and she doesn't want to do that. Now, I don't know why she walked it back, so I'm not even going to try to litigate it. But the fact is, she walked it back. Moving on. All right. The latest accusation from Jenny, who is Jenny? She had therapist notes. She had texts from partners years ago accusing Plattner. The same with E. Jean Carroll, but this is 10 years. E. Jean Carroll was what? Over 30 years. Okay. Carroll had more evidence than Jenny. Did E. Jean Carroll, I'm showing you this so that when you're coming up with these thoughts and statements, have more evidence against Donald Trump than Graham Plattner's accusers. Maybe you're right on this count that there was the dress, okay, but let's see. Okay, yes, E. Jean Carroll had more corroborating evidence in a civil case against Trump than the primary accusers. Okay. However, both cases rely heavily on testimony, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Where was I? She had texts from... Okay. Phil, you're on a roll. The dress claims are disinformation. Okay. Let me see if I can use my voice instead than talk. Okay, let me see. E. Jean Carroll claimed that the dress she wore was damaged as a result of the assault from Trump, but there have been accusations that that dress was not released until a year after the incident she claimed happened. Is this true?
No, that claim isn't accurate. Carroll said she kept the black Donna Karan dress in her closet, unworn and unlaundered for over 20 years after the mid-1990s incident. She only wore it once more for the New York Magazine photo shoot that accompanied her June 2019 article when she first went public. She didn't release the dress a year after the assault. The dress itself wasn't publicly shown or tested until around 2020, when her lawyers had it forensically examined for DNA and then requested a sample from Trump. But that's decades later, not 1 year after the alleged event. The criticism you're hearing seems to be a mix-up or distortion of two separate things: the long gap between the alleged incident, approximately 1995-96, and when the dress was tested, 2020. Separate disputes about whether that specific style of dress was even available in the exact year she initially thought the assault happened. She later adjusted the timeframe to fit. The damaged part also doesn't match the record. She described it as stained or bearing DNA traces, not torn or physically ripped. The DNA evidence was never presented at trial anyway.
All right, so the part is that I guess you guys heard Grok talking back at me. Maybe I'll do more of this. Sounds cooler, more science fiction-y. All right, so the dress claims are disinformation, but here it says that she adjusted the time frame of when she owned the dress, and of course it was she matched it with when the dress was actually produced or released. That's what I was trying to say. All right. Garding says Ivana said in 2015 that her comments were from a very high tension time during her divorce and the story was without merit. Well, she walked it back. Yeah, I know it was his wife. Grok is lying. So let's see. Why do you say Grok is lying? Because Grok pulls information from web pages. Okay. Phil, I have had arguments with Grok. I have asked Grok questions, and Grok essentially lied to me one time, and I had to go back and forth because it was based on fact. Now, you might be right. Maybe Grok is lying, but I try to go with some of the facts. Okay. Oh, come on, Phil. No. Do you want to see it? Okay, so here's a test that I want you to carry out at home, okay? This is Grok. I'm going to open Grok, okay? I'm going to open a new chat, okay? I guess you don't like Elon, okay? You don't like Elon, okay? How many genders are there, okay? Let's see. The answer that Grok gives is there are two sexes, okay? Biological sex and so on, okay? I'm going to go to ChatGPT, okay? I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to log in. I think I should just log in. Come on. Okay, let me see if I can. Can I do this without logging in? Can I use it without logging in? I don't want to waste too much time. New chat. Jeez. I don't want to do images. Why am I on images? Am I on images? I don't want an... Or better still, hold on. I'll just do this with Chrome. Sorry. Just give me a second. You claim that Elon has distorted Grok, okay? So Grok says that there are two sexes, male and female. So ChatGPT, I'm logged in, yeah? How many genders are there? Same question. Now look at ChatGPT. The answer depends on what you mean by gender. It starts out with that. Gender in social psychological references means this. Biologically, people are mostly commonly classified as male or female. It's all woke, okay? It's all woke. So I would rather believe an AI that essentially tells me the truth about what I'm asking than ChatGPT. Okay. So all right. So let's so brass tacks. Okay. I was just being facetious, Philip. Okay. All right. Now, let's not get derailed. Okay. Let's not get derailed. Let's not get derailed. Let's finish up this conversation. Okay. It was presented in court. The dress was presented in court. Trump refused to produce. No, Grok just said that they did take DNA evidence from Trump. It was inconclusive. Okay, we just saw that. So it was inconclusive because okay, that's you saying that Grok is partial. Sex and gender are different. He's distorting the facts to go back to the dress claim. Do you think, I'm sorry, Phil, do you think Elon spends his days sitting at the database and telling Grok what to say? He doesn't have the time to do that. Okay, he doesn't have the time to do that. So please, let's not think that that's what's going on. Neither do I think that Sergey Brin is sitting at Gemini telling Gemini what to think, okay? The people driving the coding at both companies have agendas, okay? What I want us to do is use our own brains. I use Grok as a high-powered search engine. I don't use it to tell me what to think or how to think, okay? So go back to the dress claim. Grok said the DNA evidence was never submitted. No, it says it was inconclusive. That's what Grok said. It said that the claims that the DNA. Sorry, I have to open it up again. History. What on earth? Seriously? All right. Anyone watching, I hope you're enjoying this conversation. I hope it's making sense to you. Hope it's making sense to you. I just want to have a, okay, I didn't log in when I was doing that. Did Donald Trump provide DNA evidence, DNA during the case with E. Jean Carroll? Just to confirm that. All right, so you're correct. Donald Trump did not provide DNA sample in E.G. Carroll, so you're correct. All right. Okay, go on, Grog. So did Grog just lie, Phil? Did Grog lie? Let's leave out, Phil. Let's try to leave out. Like when you say Grok is politically motivated, you need to ask the question, okay, so why would Grok confirm something you just said if Grok is lying? All right. And twice it has confirmed something that you said. Okay, twice. And you didn't see me saying, oh no, that's not true. Grok made a mistake. I move on. I say, okay, that happened. Let's move on. Okay. This entire conversation, Phil, started with discussing Graham Plattner. Graham Plattner had multiple people line up to accuse him of having a very... Grok omitted the truth. Okay, so Phil, if you promise to come back during Sunday's live stream, or at least future live streams, we can continue the conversation. All right, we can continue the conversation. I just want to be respectful to everyone else who's watching. We could talk nonstop on this same issue. The problem I don't want us to walk into is where we're just going around in circles and like, okay, we talked about the accusations. First off, it was a 1-for-1, E. Jean Carroll and Graham Plattner. It wasn't. Okay, then there was all these accusations, and I agreed with you and said, if there are Republicans who have these accusations and they haven't been, the justice hasn't been served, why? I would ask that question. And then we circled back to E. Jean Carroll, dress, year, accusation, this, the other. I opened up the live stream. Well, did I talk about it today? No, it was yesterday that I talked about it. Trump has been told to pay up, and his lawyers are like, no, we're not going to. Okay. So I'll be honest with you, and anyone who has followed me long enough knows that I support policies. I don't buy into persons, individuals. I've said many times, Trump pushes policies that I support, but I wouldn't tell my kids to copy his lifestyle. He's been successful as a businessman. He's wealthy. His children look like they're, well-balanced kids. None of them is on drugs. None of them, has scandals or issues out there. So he must have done something right with raising them. But I wouldn't tell my kids, this guy should be your role model. I follow channels that every single day is just, Trump is the greatest, Trump is fantastic, Trump is this, but they also call him out to say, look, he doesn't know what he's talking about, but they support, they're like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I know that they're laying it on thick, and they're being entertaining. I get it. But my position is, if something is wrong, let's call it out. If something is fishy, let's say it's fishy. I don't know if you came in while we watched the J6 video. Once the protesters started hitting the police with flagpoles and holding doors open, I said it right here on stream. No, that's not good. All right. I personally don't think that the whole J6 thing passed the smell test. Everything wasn't done right during the whole thing. So the protesters did things wrong. Capitol Police did things wrong. Nancy Pelosi did things wrong by not accepting the offer to have the National Guard, as was reported. So it was all a bad job all around. Okay, and we should just call balls and stripes and not be partisan. That's all I want to do. Okay, so Phil, look, it's always fun to get pushback. It's always fun to talk. And look, I love doing this. I love fact checking. And as you can see, I don't hold on to things and say, hey, I must be right. If I see the facts, I say, okay, so those are the facts. Let's move on. Those are the facts. Let's move on. All right. That's how I want to operate. I don't want to hold anything so tightly. And then eventually I'm pushing misinformation. Okay. I respect your time too much to do that. And I believe that everyone who watches me and keeps watching me is quite intelligent. They can smell bullshit a mile away once it starts being served. So I respect everyone's intelligence, and that's why I like to pull the facts and say, okay, here are the facts. If I say something and I'm like, okay, I'm not too sure about this, I always go to the AI to say, what's going on here? Okay. So I know that people don't like Grok or X because of Elon Musk. I have had conversations or questions that Grok served me something that I knew wasn't true, but it was serving me that anyway. And here's the thing about AI, okay? AI simply works as an aggregator. It aggregates. It pulls information from different parts, and the information that has the largest volume tends to be the one that wins. That's the way it works. So if AI pulls all the facts from all the aggregators and the predominant fact is this, it says, okay, this is what is. I'm not fighting it. So I don't know if you enjoyed that little bout of exchange, but I hope you know that this is good faith. I hope you come back and push back as always and ask questions, and I hope that I will have the time to be able to have this exchange with not just you, but as many people as possible. So Phil, thank you. Thank you so much. Long story short, if you believe the claims against Plattner, you must then believe E. Jean Carroll if we are looking at evidence. That's my only point. No, the only thing that that I pointed out, and I'll be honest with you, Graham Plattner was not the issue for me. The issue for me was the hypocrisy of the press. Okay, that was my issue. Graham Plattner is not. I don't care much about Graham Plattner. I don't. The thing is that for months, people said, okay, so you have someone who literally has a Totenkopf, a death camp, or a death, what would they call them? A death platoon tattoo on his chest. And he has said things aligning with Nazi ideology in the past. And they're like, okay, this guy isn't a very good option as a candidate for the Democrats. Why can't you find someone else? And then we said, you guys claimed that Elon made the Nazi salute when he was only waving to the crowd. Anyone who's honest will look at it and say, okay, he's waving to the crowd. We saw Mamdani do that when he won his election. no one screamed, oh, he's a Nazi. No one did. But once Elon did the same thing Mamdani did, mainstream media piled on and said he's a Nazi. Look, he's doing the Nazi salute. Look, the Sikh house salute. Oh, they are openly doing this because they are all white supremacists. That is the hypocrisy that we called. And I said, why are you supporting this guy who obviously has a Totenkopf on his chest? Then you claim that someone else who simply waved to the crowd was a Nazi. You guys are full of it. That's the only thing I said about Graham Plattner. All the other reports that started coming out was about how he had skeletons in his cupboard and so on. And if you go back to my old live streams and videos, I never did exposés on Plattner. I didn't care. Okay, I didn't care. I just announced it to say, okay, hey, the Democrats are finally backing off and pulling their support for Plattner. Okay, because eventually the thing that we've been saying you guys should do, you're finally backed into the corner to do it because of all these accusations. Ro Khanna, who claimed he stood up to the Epstein class, refused to condemn Plattner when accusations started coming out. I called that out. My problem was not Plattner. My problem was the hypocrisy. You know? So I just want you to understand, you know, I just want you to understand. I try to not deal with personalities. It's easy to slip into hatred when you begin to deal with this person, and then you begin to go deeper in disliking people. Okay, I try to stay away from it. I'm not perfect. Occasionally, I slip up and I say things like I did earlier during this live stream. So I'm not perfect. All right, so let's see. Yeah, you must believe. Yeah, so I get your point and I respect your point. If I did that, if I simply said, believe the accusations against Graham Plattner, and I sat on it and I pushed it, go watch my old live streams. All I did was report it and I backed off. I said, okay, let's see what the Democrats do. My problem is hypocrisy. If people show that they are hypocrites, I call it out. Let's see. Elon's team picked which information it pulls. It pulls very little actual news. Elon had admitted as much. Okay. Bring this up, Phil, if you have the time to come back, and then we can interrogate this point of view. Okay, we can interrogate this point of view. I don't want this to become a rabbit hole where we're going from one thing to another. And look, guy, I enjoy this conversation. I love it. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole where 2 hours later we're yet down another rabbit hole. Okay, I like to stay on topic. The Graham Plattner story is part of this live stream. Good. The Elon situation we can bring up during another live stream. So I hope you will come back and then we will interrogate that conversation. The left that supported him is using the same excuse you guys have for Trump. So what have we said about Trump? They don't care about the tattoo. They support his policy platform. Same reasoning for Trump. Okay, so what is Plattner's policy platform? Get Trump. Those essentially are the qualifiers for anyone that gets the backing of the Democrats right now. Get Trump, hates Trump, and gets Trump. Everything else he said borders on, okay, let's not he's out of the race. Okay, he's out of the race. You're bringing up something that will open up a new rabbit hole. Maybe we talk about it during the next live stream. I'm glad to have this conversation at length with you. If you feel comfortable coming back on and then we talk about it, I would love to. But I hope you felt very comfortable today sharing your ideas and your position to my position or our position. Okay, so Phil, again, thanks for being in the chat. It's a brave thing. It's a brave thing to knowingly speak up in an arena where you know that the people that you're speaking with possibly don't share the same values or the same position as you. It's brave. And I want to commend you. It's brave. And you've been classy. Okay, you've been classy. You've not used profanity. You've not insulted anyone. You've tried to lay out the facts as you see them. I want to respect that. And our doors are always open to you, okay? Our doors are always open. We don't hide from confrontation. We just want to have good faith conversations. And I hope you found good faith conversations while we had this conversation. Yes, I did push back too, but I hope you felt that it was good faith and I wasn't bending things to to my advantage. All right, so let's see. I haven't looked at the time. I want to see how long have I been online? Oops, sorry. Where's that? I went the wrong way. I went the wrong way. Okay, so we've almost been we're approaching the 2-hour mark. Philip, thank you for making the live stream lively. The tail end of the live stream has been amazing because of our exchange, and I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. So for anyone who's still watching, the live stream is essentially about this. What you just witnessed between Philip and I, is what the live stream is about, conversations. It's about talking about, yes, the news stories. If there's agreement, disagreement, a different angle on what I say about the stories, we talk about it. That's what the live stream is about. I honestly want the live stream to be that and not just be me reading out the news and playing videos, okay? That's lazy. Having in-depth conversations that drill into the heart of these issues is what the live stream should really be about, and I hope we can do more of that. Gardening says, I'm trying to find one of the little kittens, so I want to say good night all. Thanks, Philip. Good night. Okay, we're good. Gardening, thank you. Amazing job as always. Gardening is our resident mod. Intergalactic Wrangler, I did say thank you earlier. Philip, thank you. I have glazed you enough, and I hope you come back again next time. It's National Kitten Day. Well, I guess so. So I hope you find your kitten gardening. And then for the lurkers, all of you who are watching, and maybe you're doing the dishes, you're having dinner, you're watching a game and listening to us on your phone or something. Thank you for hanging out. I do hope that you consider coming back. Please, if you haven't yet done that already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. If you feel extra generous, consider dropping a donation. It helps keep the lights on. I have to say this because I keep forgetting to say it because the show is really important and I focus more on the content. But I realize that, I have to ask so that people know that it is possible to donate and support the channel and that we need that support. We do. So thank you all. We'll be back again on Sunday. We live stream Sundays to Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we hope you will join us again on Sunday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back again. If Philip graces us with his presence again and there's another conversation, there will be a spirited back and forth, good faith back and forth conversation. And I hope you'll all enjoy the show when we come back on Sunday. Thank you all. And if you like the setup because I had to change the setup. The software was wonky for several days. We would play videos and everything would stop working mid-video. It got really frustrating and tiring. Drop your thoughts on the setup. How is the technology? Is it working for you? How's the layout? Did you prefer the last layout with my big face all over the place, or did you like this layout? I'd like to get your feedback on that because this is your show. So thank you all. Love you. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
We all had to sit and watch that vile commie mayor sit on the wrong side of our founding fathers' desk to try and lecture us about our own history. Notice how the communist always attacks your history. The communist must attack your history. Why? Because history is what anchors you. It's what makes us attached to something. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. History breeds an almost irrational attachment to things, an attachment that is more powerful than anyone can imagine. Erasing history is how you demoralize people, how you unmoor them and detach them from their society so you can take it from them and rewrite it in your image. Think of your country like a home. What makes your home special? It's not the marble countertops or the expensive furniture or the fancy appliances. It's the memories you have there. That backyard is where we got married. That living room rug is where our son took his first step. Hey, don't touch that. That was his first teddy bear. It doesn't matter how torn and tattered that thing is. You will never get rid of it. And you will fight anyone who tries to take it away. Why? Because you have history with it. You ever buy a new home? Remember those first few months? Even the first few years there, it doesn't feel like home. It could be a million times nicer than the crappy apartment you came from, but it doesn't feel like home for a long time because you don't have history there. It's easy to knock down some walls, change the floor plan. If you have no memories to attach you to it, it's just wood and drywall. Who cares? Get rid of it. Memories make it a home, even the bad ones. Hey, remember when Dad hit his head on the rafter in the attic and we spent all night in the ER? That's the avocado tree I fell out of and broke my first bone. Isn't it weird how even the bad memories make us cherish a place? It's not like we long for those bad times, but bad times are part of what makes us stronger, a part of what makes us who we are. How can you resent those memories without fundamentally resenting who you are? History is so important to humans that even bad memories anchor us to our home. And that's what the communist always starts with, the bad memories. Oh, we can get rid of that little story. We can knock down that statue. We can change the name of that street. That's a bad memory from our history. You don't want that memory hanging around. You're not a bigot, right? And slowly but surely, this wall comes down, then that wall gets sledgehammered. The rafter where Dad hit his head, that's gone. The rub where your son took his first step, that's gone. The gash in the wood floor where you stomped the glass on your wedding ceremony, that's gone and replaced with shiny vinyl planks. And now you've got a brand new home with no memories. Now what? Do you care what they do with it? Do you care what color they paint the walls? Nah. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I have no attachment to it. I have no memories with that. You love your home because of the memories you have there. And that's why the communist always must destroy your memories, destroy your history. If the communist wishes to take your home, he must first destroy your memory of it so he can erase your attachment to it and demoralize you. Mao destroyed what he called the four olds: old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. If you call them olds, it makes them sound bad. You don't want that old thing. Get rid of it. But it is fundamentally human nature to cherish your history. We crave learning about our history, where we came from, who our ancestors were. That's human. But communism is an evil, anti-human religion, so it must destroy what makes us human. The communist destroys your history so he can take your home and rebuild it in his image. That's why it's your patriotic duty to celebrate today unashamed. It's okay to love America. Not only is it okay to love America, it's necessary to love America. We are the only bulwark against tyranny on this earth. When Europe descends into madness time and time again, it's our sons who cross the oceans to fight and die for freedom and human dignity. We don't let evil people destroy our history and rewrite it in their image. This is Independence Day. It's not just a number on the calendar. Don't say Happy 4th. That's commie gobbledygook.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
We say Independence Day. Today we celebrate the men who reclaimed a beautiful slice of this earth and claimed it for God, for the values of freedom and rugged independence. Our history is messy. Our history is violent. Fuck yeah, it is. And that's why we love it. We aren't cowards. We don't turn our backs on the painful memories because they make us who we are. Be proud of our country, damn it. America is the birthplace of every great invention of the last 250 years. Like literally everything. Airplanes, spaceships, internet, telephones. As a country, we are batting 1,000. Not only is it a miracle that this radical experiment in self-governance even survived past 1776, but we are the champions of the world. Be proud of that. Be proud of your history. Millions of your ancestors fought and died to preserve it. Kami Mamdani's ancestors never bled for this country. He has no history here, so he has no attachment to our home. He has no place to rewrite our history and lecture us about what our country stands for. So celebrate today. Show some American pride. Honor your history. Raise your flag. Raise a finger and say, fuck you, communists. This is our home, and you can't have it. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. God bless America.